Coming up on OU Nightly.
My kids are crying, Ryan Walters!
Strong words as a mother is arrested at the State Board of Education meeting. Find out what happened. And big changes for OU's Gender and Equality Center. Hear why the office may be closing.
And we are in for a bumpy ride tonight as storms move through overnight. I'm going to have all of those details coming up. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Darian Curry. We begin tonight with the chance for severe weather.
Let's get right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brand. Lauren, this may come in overnight.
That's right, ladies. We do have a risk for storms to come through overnight. Now, as you can see from the severe weather outlook, this extends all the way up into Kansas, and this does affect the OU and Norman campus. We have Braden Co out in the field right now. Braden, what can you tell us about those current conditions?
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, I'm standing out here outside Gaylord Hall, and it looks like severe weather is in the cards for tonight. We've got cloudy skies. The winds are pretty gusty, and like you said, this is going to be an overnight threat tonight. And looking at the moisture content that we have, these winds are really helping to bring in that moisture from the south. Dew points approaching 70 in some places across the state. And those winds have been very gusty, helping to draw in that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So all of this put together is what's leading to that severe weather threat. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks, Braden. I'm going to have more on the timing for those storms and into the weekend. I'll have more coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Lauren. Now on to some breaking news on campus. The Gender and Equality Center here at OU is closing for good. OU Nightly's Kaylee Fan is live in the newsroom with the breaking story.
Melina, credit to the OU Daily for first breaking this story earlier this afternoon. Tonight, we know that Vice President for Student Affairs David Surratt says, quote, the GEC as it stands will close, end quote. This change is a result of Governor Kevin Stitt's executive order in December, calling for a review of diversity, equity, and inclusion programming in higher education. That department will be replaced by the Office of Advocacy and Education, which will focus on sexual assault and sexual violence prevention and response, health-related education programs, and outreach. When OU Nightly reporters went to the student union to shoot video of the GEC office, our reporters were asked not to shoot video of people. We also tried to talk to GEC employees, however, they have been told not to speak to the media. We also reached out to OU Division of Student Affairs for comment. We shared our deadline for this newscast, and they have not yet responded. We will be following the story as we learn more. Reporting from the newsroom, Kaylee Fan, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kaylee. The closure of the GEC is the latest in a line of changes under an executive order by Kevin Stitt. The order calls for a review of all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. At this morning's State Board of Education meeting, emotions ran high during public comment. OU Nightly's Kamarion Brown is following that story. Kamarion?
Darian, a series of speakers had strong words about students who they say benefit from DEI programs. One mother who state troopers say went over her allotted time and would not stop speaking was arrested. As she was handcuffed, she yelled out at Ryan Walters, the state superintendent of schools. Video of her arrest was captured by OU Nightly alum Kobe Turrell, who now works for KOCO5 News in Oklahoma City.
Sean, call the Attorney General's office right now. You're arresting me in front of my children because this man over here is a bigot and a bully, picking on trans kids, picking on disabled kids, picking on my kids. My kids are crying, Ryan Walters.
This is the mugshot of that mother, Audra Beasley. State troopers say she faces charges of willfully disrupting state business at a state board meeting and for causing disruptions and refusing to willingly leave. Troopers say she has bonded out of jail. Beasley is just one of many people who camped out overnight so they could speak at the state board's meeting. Most of them are concerned about what they say is discrimination against LGBTQ students and concerned about how the state is handling DEI with its executive orders trying to eliminate it. Live in the studio, Kamarion Brown, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kamarion. And more breaking news tonight. The University of Southern California says it will not hold a main commencement ceremony this year due to safety concerns from anti-war protests.
College campuses around the country are facing a growing movement of protest over the treatment of civilians throughout the Israel-Hamas war.
The demonstrations escalated yesterday at the University of Texas at Austin, where hundreds of police descended on students, arresting dozens. Now, many upperclassmen who live on campus are left confused after finding out late in the semester that they would need to move out. OU Nightly's Bailey Coyle spoke to those students, is live with more. Bailey.
OU told me in an email today that spots in the residential colleges for upperclassmen are limited, but students who are currently living in Headington College behind me and Dedham College tell me that they're frustrated.
It is very stressful.
Is what many upperclassmen are saying after finding out on April 4th they would not be able to live on campus next year. Courtney Stevens reapplied for his housing on January 17th.
When you go to do your housing applications, when you're applying, you can click keep same room. And I've lived in the same room for the past 2 years, but that was not an option this year, so I was very confused.
On March 5th, he received an email that he was waitlisted and would not have access to room selection, which opened March 6th. After being on the wait list for a month, Stevens, along with many other students, were refunded their $50 and told they would not receive residential housing.
Told to have a great time looking for off-campus housing. They wish me luck.
Luckily for Stevens, he's found housing, but not without a struggle.
It's so late in the semester, everyone's already kind of settled in.
Jared Kinkle is still looking for housing.
Definitely more difficult when, you're kind of relying on being in upperclassmen housing.
OU says they are in consistent contact with students on the wait list, but Kinkle says it was a shock that he would need to move out.
Now I'm kind of scrambling to find a place, and it's very difficult because it's so late in the year.
OU says that applications at Tradition Square are still open and that the university does not guarantee upperclassmen housing. Reporting live on campus, Bailey Coyle, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Bailey. Now, we have all seen the dumpsters next to the freshman dorms at the end of the semester. They are filled with appliances and random clothes and a lot more. The OU Food Pantry has a way to cut down on that trash and help OU students on campus. OU Nightly's Ireland Fitzer is live with that story.
With the end of the year coming up, freshmen on campus are left with too many meal points they can't spend, and of course appliances they won't be needing. The OU Food Pantry has a solution to get these items off their hands and to give back to someone who needs it. Swiped to Share is a push to get students to use those leftover meal points for the food pantry. It encourages students to use their points at places like Acre Provisions, a mini supermarket, and etc. to purchase essentials and food items to donate back to the food pantry. While items that can be bought and brought are welcomed, other items that you might not think of are needed as well.
Appliances, if you have like a microwave that you bought for the room and now you won't need it where you're going next, then microwaves, appliances, that kind of stuff is always highly sought after as well.
The pantry serves 400 to 500 clients per week. The demand for donations is high.
But I know there's a lot of students out there who kind of rely on that and they really need it, and giving back to the pantry and giving your appliances that you don't need anymore from your freshman year, it could really help someone.
The pantry also welcomes gently used clothes, decorations, and bedding. If you would like to drop off a few items, the food pantry is open Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reporting in Norman, Ireland Fitzer, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ireland. Donald Trump's hush money trial continued today with more testimony from a former tabloid publisher. OU Nightly's Sofia Cabrera has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
David Pecker's testimony focused on his investigations with the former president's alleged affair with Playboy bunny Karen McDougal. Pecker stated he bought McDougal's story for $150,000 and killed it 5 months before the 2016 election, expecting to be reimbursed by the Trump organization, but ultimately never was. He also said that he knew the deal was illegal, but did it anyway for Trump's benefit. In Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court appeared ready to reject Donald Trump's claim of immunity from prosecution. Trump's lawyers argue that his efforts to overturn the 2020 election were while he was in office, thus making them, quote, official acts, end quote.
The High Court's decision is expected by June, and if there is a trial, it will be before the November election.
This is what it's like to be a woman in America, living with male entitlement to our bodies.
And today, Harvey Weinstein's rape conviction from 2020 was overturned in New York. The State Court of Appeals found that the trial's judge had a prejudice against Weinstein, allowing improper rulings. One Court of Appeals judge stated a remedy would be a new trial. And the U.S. Department of Travel is now requiring all airlines to refund canceled or delayed flights in cash by default. The change comes as part of the Biden-Harris administration's work to lower consumer costs. Darian, Melina.
Thanks, Sophia. U.S. schools are cracking down on midday meals for students.
We'll tell you why and how they're making this decision coming up.
And a popular cooking oil is being recalled.
We'll tell you which one and why after the break.
The U.S. government is cracking down on bird flu found in cows. OU Nightly's Julia Roberts has more information in today's Healthbeat.
Melina, the USDA is issuing a federal order for more testing to be done for bird flu in dairy cows. The spread of the virus is increasing, now being found in cows in 8 states, but also in grocery store and milk. Under the new order, all dairy cattle moving between states must be tested for all influenza A strains. The USDA is announcing a new healthier school meal program, now limiting added sugar and sodium. The change is starting in the 2025 to 2026 school year, with specific items like cereal, yogurt, and flavored milk having limits on added sugar. By the 2027 to 2028 school year, sodium is required to be cut by 15% in lunches and 10% in breakfast. And if you cook with avocado oil, check your bottles, because Primal Kitchen is willingly recalling over 2,000 cases as the glass may break. The affected products are the 750 milliliter size bottles with expiration dates ranging from August 19th through the 21st of next year. If you use this product, you are asked to stop and contact the company for a refund. And if you find yourself reaching for junk food this final exam season, know that this is normal. Doctors say these cravings can come from stress and emotions, but drinking tea can help curb those cravings. Melina, Darian.
Thanks, Julia. The largest team of collegiate meteorologists is tracking severe weather.
Storms roll in overnight. Lauren Brand has your full forecast when we come back.
Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. We are talking about storms today. Now, we still have some of that cloud cover that is starting to get into effect. It's very muggy outside right now. You can definitely feel it if you walk outside. My hair's been frizzy all day today, and I'm sure yours has too. But we're taking a look at that overnight forecast for when we could start to see those rain chances. Now, this is going to be an overnight event, so we're not going to really be seeing rain until the middle of the night, really starting at 1 a.m. is when we can start to see those rain chances enter our area for the Norman metro, and that's going to go all the way up until around 5-6 a.m. So again, this is going to be an overnight event, and we do have a chance of seeing some hail, some large hail. Now, this is really going to be just west of I-35, so really towards the an area and along I-44 as well. Now, that tornado risk is definitely low, but it is still there. So the OU in the Norman Metro is going to be included in this as well. It's really included a majority of Oklahoma, but again, that does still remain low. Now, as we look at our future cast, you can really see where that main area is going to be, where we could start to see some storms pop up. We could start to see that in the Texas Panhandle. We're going to start to see those storms develop, and they're going to start to roll on through, and they're going to start to hit Lawton first. But zooming in here a little bit, as we look at the Norman Metro, Moore, Norman, Noble, and Purcell, we're all going to be hit by this. So Tuttle, we're going to be seeing maybe a little bit of some hail up there too. Those threats are really going to be large hail, some damaging wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, and a brief tornado or two. So it is going to be a severe night, a little bit of a bumpy night, maybe a little bit of a loud night as well. And then that's going to go until really 7 a.m. So it's going to be kind of a, really loud night ahead of us. But that is going to roll on through, and then this is going to be Friday morning. We should be in the clear by then. But since this is an overnight event, you're going to want to make sure that you have just a few things ready. Definitely make sure that you have that weather radio on hand, some of those batteries, your first aid kit just in case. You never know what you may need, but since this is an overnight event, you're going to want to make sure you have that weather radio or just a way to receive alerts. So looking at those lows for tonight, we're going to be around 66 degrees here in Norman, 66 up in Oklahoma City, 49 up in Guymon, but you can really see how warm it's going to be tonight, which is going to help with those storm chances. So as we look at Friday, tomorrow, we're going to be back up into those 80s. And again, this is going to help with those storm chances for Saturday because we do have another round that's going to be coming in on Saturday. So that's going to be around those lower 80s. But as we look at that 7-day, we're going to be in those 80s. We're going to be dropping down into those 70s for a little bit. And then as we go throughout the rest of the week, we will be stuck with those 80s with a few chances of some rain in between. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Lauren. Now tonight, Sooner stars look to make their league dreams a reality.
OU Nightly's Emily LaBeth has more in sports.
And the Thunder finished up Game 2 of their playoff series against the Pelicans. When we come back, we'll give you a report from the Paycom Center. Stick with us. Hi, I'm Emily LaBeth, and it's time for sports. The Pelicans swooped into the Paycom Center last night to play the Thunder for Game 2 of their NBA playoff series. And OU Nightly reporter Stone Weber was in Loud City to give you the recap.
The Thunder cruised past the Pelicans 124-92 to go up 2-0 in the first round of the NBA playoffs. That 32-point victory, the second highest playoff margin victory in team history. Now, Chet Holmgren, he played in just his second career NBA playoff game, but he looked like a seasoned veteran, dropping 26 points in 29 minutes. And the team credits their fast start to their offensive explosion.
Yeah, it was critical. You know, we got an early grip on the game. I thought our players did a great job of understanding the mentality of the opponent coming in, and we've got to continue to do that. It's a long series, and you know they're going home. Like I said, they're going to be a better team at home, and they're going to be a better team because they've got good players and they're well coached.
He came to Toronto, I think, that summer, and we played like pickup against like the league's called CBO. And we played like pickup against them. Like it was like a bigger guy, and he was like battling physically, even though obviously he was giving up a lot of pounds. I knew Chet had that fire in him.
We're going to go out there and play as a team, you know, figure things out together. And, you know, we can expect the same thing. You know, not only is the crowd going to bring it, but, you know, the Pels are going to bring it too.
The Thunder are now 2 wins away from earning their first playoff series victory since 2016. And good news for them, they're 4-0 all-time in series. They lead 2-0. The series continues this Saturday for Game 3 in New Orleans. Tip-off is at 2:30. Reporting from the Paycom Center, Stone Weber, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Stone. One OU player is taking being a Sooner literally, leaving the football program sooner than expected. Cornerback Josiah Wagner has entered the transfer portal according to 24/7 Sports. The former 4-star recruit played in 7 games as a true freshman in 2023. And the NFL draft starts tonight, and Sooner offensive tackle Tyler Guyton is projected to go in the first round. He could join the other 48 Sooners who have been first-round picks and has a chance to join Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson in Philadelphia. A Red River rivalry on the red dirt starts tomorrow for OU baseball, and one of the Sooners' best hitters has returned from injury, outfielder John Spikerman. And after a long comeback, he takes the field for his first series since March 16th.
I was good. No, they did a good job of making sure I wasn't overdoing it. We talked a lot beforehand, and I knew I was only playing half the game, and I felt good enough to practice yesterday, and carry that in this weekend.
Heading across Asp Avenue, the ladies at Love's Field are getting some recognition. Ella Parker and Cassidy Pickering were named to the 2024 D1 Freshman of the Year Top 25 watch list. The past 2 years, a Sooner has actually won the award, Jordy Ball in 2022 and Tiara Jennings in 2021. Melina, Darian.
Thanks, Emily. Now imagine your wish for your dream pet, but you get more than what you asked for.
That happened to one boy in Edmond. His story coming up.
Now one boy in Oklahoma got his biggest wish granted and more, owning an octopus that was laying eggs. The octopus's name was Terrence or Terry, and she came with 50 babies, which didn't upset little Cal Clifford at all.
Unfortunately, only half of the babies lived, but they are going to be housed in educational institutions. But Cal's love for octopuses still reigns strong. He even dressed as one last Halloween.
That's such a cute story. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It really is, and I love octopuses too. Now, let's go right over to Lauren Brand one last time for our last weather check.
That's right, ladies. We have that overnight chance for rain tonight, and that will lead into Friday morning, but we won't see our next round of severe weather until Saturday, so it is going to be a little bit of a loud weekend ahead of us. But as we go into our Sunday, we will be in those upper 70s, around 79 degrees, but as we look at the rest of the week, we will be stuck with some of those 80s across the board.
Thanks, Lauren, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Darian Curry.
And for one last time at the desk, I'm Melina Samir. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.